YouTube, we are doing a dream ticket review, free ultra rare, free super rare of any box you want up until a certain box. We're going to talk about what you could use it on. Dkayed, why are you late with this? I'm not late. The 5th year anniversary was just last week. We needed 7 days to have a more up-to-date tier list. We needed 7 days to see the last 7 days of tournament performance, to see if Dark Magician was going to be good, to see how good Blackluster Soldier would be, to see if any older cards would be good. Maybe Kaiku would be a big card to use your dream ticket on, but you wouldn't know within a few days because the meta is developing. Well, I feel the meta has developed enough to now tell you what to use your dream ticket on. Let's get into it.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
To start this off, the dream ticket review is going to be based off of the tier list looking like this. So make sure you stay up to date by looking at the tier list. The power rankings is automated, which is very similar to what the current tier list is. The tier list is updated every single week by the top player council. The top player council are initiated every 3 months, the top performing players objectively. And these are their thoughts weekly on what's good and what's not good. So if you were to watch this video late, not on the day of release, and the tier list looks different, then do consider the new decks that are added. To start off this dream ticket review, we are looking at the gem guide. It is automatically updated. No one is manually changing this page. It automatically updates based off of the tier list, power rankings, and tournament decks being posted to the site. It is broken up by recommended top staples, training card set breakdown. Right now, the #1 deck being recommended is Magnet Warriors at 50k average gems. Now, on top of that, we have Abyss Actors at 56k, Gaia 27k, much cheaper, right? But it requires about $26. You're gonna need $11 of the structure deck to play Gaia. And now the deck does like BLS, which is from the new selection box. Harpies 57k. That's about 22,000 gems and tech cards, so the core of the deck is not 57k. You could make up the difference of the tech cards with whatever you have. Water Exceed being the most expensive deck. So this will be the least recommended deck out of these 5 decks that are being recommended. Now, why are there only 5 decks when the tier list has more than 5? We're not going to really be recommending Tier 3 as much, because Tier 3 could fall off at any moment. Tier 3 could be here 1 week, fall off the next week. So I'm not confident enough with dream ticket reviews to recommend Tier 3. So does that mean Tier 3 is bad? No, it's good. You should just consider it yourself. You should wait and see. So if you were to spend on Melodies for Tech Genis, just keep your eye out for these decks. Maybe they'll go up, maybe they'll fall off though. Other decks to consider beyond these big 5 decks are going to be, if we look at the top decks page, here are past 7 days of tournaments. So anything that does not have a tier mark next to it would be something like Burning Abyss. Consider using your dream ticket towards something that could be used for Burning Abyss, which will probably not be many cards, as if we look at a recent sample of the deck, all the core cards you can't use your dream ticket on anyway. And then Cyber Dragon is something that might hop on the tier list. So if you just want to have fun and play Cyber Dragons, you could use your dream ticket towards this, but it's not going to be something I recommend. These are just decks to keep your eye out for. Burning Abyss, Cyber Dragon, Fire King, Chronomaly, Destiny Heroes, Elemental Heroes, what the? Melodious, and maybe even Dark Magician if you really want to have fun with Dark Magician. Out of these 3 decks, are any of them playing Kaiku? They are Kaiku in the side deck, Kaiku in the side deck, Kaiku in the side deck. Now, let's hop into what you could actually use your dream ticket cards on and what you should use them on. So big things to consider with your dream ticket is going to be top staples. Let's click on staples. What can you use your dream ticket on here? Well, Reborn is for free and it's becoming a top staple. It's being used everywhere. Treacherous. Being used by many decks. We have Treacherous being used by Abyss Actors, Gaia, and Water Exceed. So if we click on Treacherous here, we could see how popular it is overall. It is the #1 trap in the game right now. A big number I really like to look at is how many decks are using it at 0. Water Exceed, 7% at 0. So 93% are playing Treacherous. 80% of Destiny Heroes, 70% of Abyss Actors. This is a big card. Is it a core card to the deck? No, it's just a really good card. You are not going to choose to not play these decks because you don't have Treacherous. Treacherous just makes these decks better. Another card considered a top staple is Abyss Dweller. If you didn't know, Treacherous destroy 2 monsters on the field if you have no traps, and it's supposed to be balanced by you not playing other traps in your deck. Now, Abyss Dweller, rank 4 Exceed. If you play level 4s, you can make this. So what are popular level 4 monsters in the main deck? 4, main. These are the popular level 4s. If you are playing any of these cards, you will be able to make an Abyss Dweller. You know your own deck, and what is good about Dweller? It's going to prevent the activation of anything in the graveyard. So if you were to summon this early against a deck, what would you do well against? Let's see. Let's type in monsters. What monsters is Dweller preventing from activating on the popularity rankings? If we are looking at the Exceeds, not too much from the Exceeds, we scroll down. It will stop a Kiteroid from activating its second effect from the graveyard for stopping damage. If we keep on looking, the Abyss Actors, they activate in the extra deck. So the Sussy Rookie, you're not Dweller negating this. You can negate a Hope Woven. What is, this doesn't look like there's much to negate with the Dweller, huh? In the playing against water, you could stop their Atlantean Marksman and their infantry activations. That could be very good. And it does not just stop monsters, but monsters will be the most popular things to stop. We'll look at spell and traps that it also stops. Looking down, it could stop a Berserkion, which is becoming quite popular. If you're playing against Burning Abyss, then you are really going to want Dweller to stop the entire Burning Abyss deck. Burning Abyss monsters love activating the graveyard. Now, if we go to Spell and Trap, this is going to be really rare. What is it even stopping in the grave? We are looking, it can stop a Canadia, that's not really going to be that big. It could stop a Super Team, not really big. So mostly you're going to use it for the monsters. Now, an even better card, I would say, is Malevolent Sin. Malevolent Sin is more generic. It will detach a material to banish a monster for 1 turn, opening up lethal plays. If we look at Dweller versus Malevolent Sin, how much more is each card being used versus the other? And by the way, they are different dream tickets. This would be your ultra rare, this would be your super rare. Looking at Dweller is the second most popular monster. Of course, Water Exceed. It's core to Water Exceed. Every other deck, it's not core to. It's just an option to summon from the extra deck. But as you can see, a good amount of Abyss Actor, Harpies, those are the big tier decks that are using it, not as a core card. You already know if you need it for Water Exceed. Very good, 70% plus. Now, if we look at Malevolent Sin, 2400, banish a monster temporarily, super rare dream ticket. It's the #1 most used monster. And you could see 0% are not using it. 100% Abyss Actors, 100% Magnet Warriors, 100% Harpies. It's huge. So this is a card you want to consider for any deck that can make a rank 4 Exceed. It's the best rank 4 Exceed in the game right now. So do consider Malevolent Sin if your favorite deck can use it. And then we have Mystical Space Typhoon and Book of Moon. Mystical Space Typhoon being used in any deck. Water Exceed, Harpies, Abyss Actors, Magnet Warriors. This is your ultra rare dream ticket. How much is it being used? Can you use your dream ticket on it? Yes, you can. Let's look at the Mystical Space Typhoon. Target a spell and trap on the field, destroy that target. That is pretty good. It's the second most used card overall. Second spell. 0% of Water Exceed are not using it. 100% are using it. We have an 82% for Abyss Actors, 82% for Magnet Warriors. Big percentage of Harpies and Melodious. But the big problem with MST is, while it's a very good card, it could generally be replaceable. What could replace MST? I'm going to look at quick play spells that are potentially as good. Instead of using Mystical Space Typhoon, you could have Cosmic. If you have Cosmic Cyclones and you don't have Mystical Space Typhoon, I wouldn't tell you to use your Dream Ticket on Mystical Space Typhoon. I would want your Dream Ticket to have a bigger impact. Going from Cosmic to MST is not a big impact, and maybe Cosmic is going to become more popular soon. You never know. What are other good cards that could replace MST or work similar? Lance. If you have Forbidden Lances, you can consider using Forbidden Lance over Mystical Space Typhoon. They are similar cards. If you already have this, maybe you should not use your Dream Ticket on MST. But if you don't have Cosmic, you don't have Lance, consider using your Dream Ticket on Mystical Space Typhoon, looking at other popular cards. Those are pretty much the big ones. Now we're talking about Book of Moon. It doesn't matter. This card's amazing. You can't use your Dream Ticket on it. Even though your Dream Ticket's usable on anything before September 2021, this came out January 2021, so it should be usable. Right, wrong, it came from a selection box. It only counts from the box, the non-selection box it came from. So if we click on Book of Moon, we see it was reprinted in Chaotic Soldiers, which was November 2021. Now, that is all the staple cards that you should consider using your Dream Ticket on, but I think I would prefer using your Dream Ticket on a core card of a deck. A card that's going to make or break your deck. The difference between playing a deck and not playing a deck. Let's look right into those. Before hopping into the specifics, here's some cards that are trending. They're just seeing a rise in popularity. So do consider, if you're looking at any of these cards, to maybe it's just a current trend and it's going to fall off later. And if you're considering any of these cards, they're on the downward trend. They might just fall off out of use. So do consider that. Also, what's really big is these selection boxes are back for a limited time. So if you're going to use a Dream Ticket on anything that's from these selection boxes, do consider maybe using your gems on the selection box. Maybe you can get lucky. Objectively, these are the good cards at the moment being used in the top tier decks from the selection boxes. So check these out. Make sure you look over these. All right, we're not going to keep referencing to this. It's too much cross-referencing. Actually, when we highlight a card, it will tell us. So if we're looking at a card like Deep Sea Diva, we could see on the card that it is from a selection box. So I will bring that up. But here's just a good preview. All of the selection box cards that are being used in top tier decks right now. Doing a nice little scroll on what you should use your Dream Ticket on. Now, let's look at what you should use that Dream Ticket on from the boxes. You can't use Dream Ticket on anything from Fantastic Arc. Can't do it. That's illegal. So the Arc and Evil Swarm Nightmare, nope. And any of the Abyss actors, also can't use Dream Ticket on this. Forget about it. Moving on to Chaotic Soldiers. Cannot use your Dream Ticket on any of these. Sky Iris could have been a good Dream Ticket use, but also you can't use your Dream Ticket on this. You're not allowed to. Moving on. Now we could start using our Dream Ticket. Starting off with Gorgonic Guardian. This card could be a great pickup for your Magnet Warrior deck. Let's look at Magnet Warriors as a deck type whole. So if we go to Gorgonic Guardian, there is 1%. There is a 1% player, 1%. 99% are playing Gorgonic Guardian. I would say this card being played at least at 1 is quite core to the deck. If you're picking up your second one, I do think it makes your deck a little bit better, or it could be considered a preference because 42% are playing it at 1. But this is a very good extra deck card, but I would not pick this up before we pick up the rest of the deck, which is going to be the Gamma, the Alpha. Beta is going to be a free pickup. Now, also, what's important to the Magnet deck are cards that reborn your magnets from the grave. Now, similar to what we said about Mystical Space Typhoon, there are a lot of cards that could replace cards like Powerful Rebirth. So what are the big cards that Powerful Rebirth is competing with in this deck? If we look at a recent decklist example, top 4 of the MCS, he's using 6 Reborn Traps. So what is going to be comparable to those? Let's whip it out over here. So we have Powerful Rebirth. We then have Super Team Buddy Force Unite. So these are two cards very similar. If you already have one and not the other, then it becomes less important to use your dream ticket on the other. There's also a third card that's almost as good as these. And if you have this third card I'm about to show you, then I would tell you to not use your dream ticket. Also, it's very worth noting, this is from a structure deck. Powerful Rebirth, your one copy is from a structure deck for free. And if you have the money, it's going to be at maybe $3, $4, maybe $5 to get the other copies of Powerful Rebirth. I would really hope that you do not spend your dream ticket on Powerful Rebirth, that if you want to pick up 3 copies, just buy the structure deck, because a dream ticket could be worth up to about $100 worth of you spending money towards an actual box. So let's get to that third card. The third card being Oasis. Oasis is not usable with your dream ticket, but maybe you just have it. If you already have Oasis, then the need for the other cards go down. So definitely consider Super Team Buddy Force Unite would be the main card to use your dream ticket on, because Powerful Rebirth is from a structure deck. And as you can see here, Super Team Buddy Force Unite is in a selection mini box. So you do also have the option to get lucky. If you just pull from that mini box, you might just get it. So this is going to be a card I recommend, Super Team Buddy Force Unite. And we'll put in Gorgonic Guardian. And what else did we recommend? We recommended Dweller so far, and Malevolent Sin. We also recommended Mystical Space Typhoon. Now back to the Magnet deck. Core to the deck is going to be a card like Gamma and Alpha. So if you were using your dream ticket on Super Team Buddy Force Unite, you already have, how many alphas would you need? At least 2. This is from Guardians of Rock. It's from a mini box. Anything that has of within the name of how to obtain, it's from a mini box, which are cheaper than big boxes. So you can consider just pulling that box. I think Konami screwed up big time. It shows that Konami is, I would say, out of touch with the meta, because selection boxes are promoted as ways to get into the game relatively much easier based off of what's popular and what's being used. And with Magnets being a top tier deck, why are these cards from 2019 not reprinted? Does Konami not know what they're doing? Yeah, they don't. They don't know what they're doing. This should have been in the selection box. Good job, Konami. So Gamma is also a good pickup. You're going to want 3 Gamma, 2 Alpha, and the other core cards of the deck, the Beta, free to get. It's free. Do not use your dream ticket on it. Do not use your dream ticket on Delta. And then we have Berserkion. That's going to be a big pickup for your ultra rare dream ticket. 5% are using 2, 95% using 1. That is big. And I would say that is pretty much it for the core cards. We can consider Magnetic Field to potentially be a core card, at least one of. People are liking it, 10% not using it at all. It's a great card, but I would say you still have a playable deck without it, and possibly maybe even prefer to not play it. So those are going to be the main pickups for the Magnet deck. Now we're going to move on. Back to the gem guide. That was all from the Arts of Atlantis that started us off on talking about Magnet Warriors, just from the Gorgonic Guardian. Now we have Rise of Gaia. Please don't use your dream ticket on structure decks. Just don't do it. Please don't. Don't do it. Do not do it. Mow a lawn. Do a favor for a neighbor. Just knock on their door right now and tell them you will do anything for $5. Okay? Because you can get all these. The first copy of these are for free with gems. The second and third copy, it's 1 to 2 favors for your neighbor, and you're good. You don't want to use dream tickets on structure decks. Moving on. Eternal Stream. Water Exceed. So Water Exceed is going to be a very expensive deck type. It's the least recommended. We have full armored Black Ray Lancer. How important is this for the deck? It's quite important, but not as important as other cards in the deck. We open up Water Exceed. Let's hop into that. So I'm going to say this right now. With Water Exceed being the most expensive, least recommended deck, I'm not going to really recommend you use your dream ticket on any water cards. Now, why do I recommend Magnets? Because it's easier to build. And if you're watching this video for guidance, you don't need guidance to build Water Exceed, because if you are building Water Exceed, you have the majority of the cards. It's an incredibly expensive deck. If we go to the recommended, it's 71k gems. That's crazy expensive. You know if you want this. You don't need me to tell you if you want this. Let's look at how expensive this is. You need 3 Diva, ultra rare. You need how many infantry? 2 infantry. You need 2 angler. So that's like 7 dream tickets right there. You need Dweller. Dweller's not optional. You need Dweller. You need a Hope Woven. This is eating up. Maybe you've been saving up dream tickets for the entire year. Now, even an entire year of dream tickets won't get you this deck. You need Buzzsaw Shark. Buzzsaw, pretty important. You need 1 Bahamut Shark. That's also a box, ultra rare, super rare. You're gonna need that 1 full armored Black Ray Lancer. You're going to need at least 1 Atlantean Marksman. And for cards you need, it pretty much ends there. It is Marksman, full armored, Bahamut, Buzzsaw, Hope Woven, Dweller, Angler, Heavy Infantry, Diva. The rest of the cards are techs. You could replace them. People are playing Brionic a lot. I don't see it being summoned as much, but that is a good card to also consider. Really expensive. I don't recommend spending your dream tickets on this unless you are close to finishing it, which you're not if you're just getting started. I have a big recommendation for Harpies. Harpies just got nerfed for the 2nd time, and they're still really good. They are considered by the top player council tier 1, but with the current power rankings, the current information and data we have, they are performing as tier 2, but the TPC are predicting it's gonna go up. They are predicting the stocks of Harpies are going up. So what is good from Harpies now that we're on Harpies? Let's click open the Harpy deck type. This is going to be a big recommended deck alongside Magnets. Top cards. You're going to want Harpy Channeler. As you can see, it says sign of Harpies of, meaning it is from a mini box. You need 3 of this, 100%. I would even consider playing the deck if you are just new to the game and you just have 2. The deck could still be playable. It's a very good card. You're going to need 3. You're going to need 3, but you could build towards Harpies and still have fun with them. You're going to need 2 to 3 Perfumer. These are going to be 2 big super rare dream ticket pickups. For your ultra rare dream ticket, you're going to need at least 1 Cyber / Harpy. You can't play the deck without 1. They're all playing 2 though. That's the optimal way. 1 is mandatory. Then moving on, Malevolent Sin is just a good all-round exceed for any deck that can make a rank 4. It's great. I won't say it's super core, but it's quite core. The Harpist is not that important. As far as needed cards, it's pretty much these big 3. Channeler, Perfumer, Cyber / you have enough of these 3. You have a Harpy deck. You could build the rest. The rest is Oracle being free to obtain Elegant Egotist, everything else being attack and or free to obtain. This is the big 3. So with your dream ticket, do consider Channeler, Perfumer, Cyber / Harpy. Let's look at what a deck list looks like. Here is a deck list example. Playing Harpy's Last Will, got top 32 of the MCS. There's the 3 Channeler, the 2 Perfumer, and the 2 Cyber / Harpy. Everything else is either free to obtain or replaceable. And in Duel Links meta events, the Harpy Hunting Ground skill has been banned. It's no longer banned. People are going to be using it starting this week. And the deck's already performing well without the Harpy Hunting Ground skill, so it's going to be doing even better, I am predicting. To recap so far, we have recommended Magnet Warriors, we have recommended Harpies, we don't recommend Water Exceed because it's too expensive. There's other 2 decks here, Gaia and Abyss Actors, as we're going down. And I'm just going to put this out of the way. We look at the Gaia deck type, there's nothing core to Gaia to use your dream ticket on. It is a structure deck. It is more accessible than the other decks if you have $11 on you. So if you have $11, then I would highly recommend playing Gaia over Magnets and over Harpies. If you don't have $11, you don't have a neighbor that you could do favors for, then forget about Gaia. Don't spend your dream tickets on structure deck cards. It's just horrible value, okay? Don't do it. Don't freaking do it. And I just want to say, okay, you're free to play for life. I wouldn't recommend you trade your car for a bicycle just because you're free to play. Because you really want the bicycle, but you refuse to spend money on it because you're free to play for life, don't trade your house, don't trade your sister, don't make a bad trade for the bicycle just because you're free to play. That's what I'm saying here when to not use your dream tickets on structure deck cards. Moving on down from the Harpy box, we have Antonomic Theory. This is going to be the box you're going to use MST. Dream ticket on, we already talked about that. Photon of Galaxy. We have Malevolent Sin being big. Now, Ghost Rick Alucard and Roach, they are not core to decks, really. Alucard is a very good card, but it's not going to make or break your deck. It's good in Burning Abyss. It's 49% used in Magnet Warriors. It's pretty cool, not needed. But if you just want to do a finishing touch to your deck, then, only then, should you consider a Ghost Rick Alucard. The Roach is trending downward in popularity. It is an inherent summon negates. Harpies love using it, and pretty much just Harpies love using it. So if you want to do a finishing touch to your Harpy deck, you could consider the Steel Swarm Roach for now. It does have good future potential. Moving down to Infinite Ray, the Gaia Charger, and the Utopia Ray. Utopia Ray is not really needed. It's kind of a meme, even though it does win games, even in tournaments. But look at the Utopia Ray. Who's using this card? Abyss actors love it. They can reduce their life points with Madonna to help meet the requirement of being at 1,000 life or below to make this 4,000 attack, an attack over a monster that's at least 3,000 attack or less for lethal damage. Pretty much just Abyss actors like this for now. And what is the other card we're looking at? The Gaia Thunder Charger. Gaia Charger, Magnets love it. It's comboed up with the Corbage. You make the rank 3 exceed, then you rank up into Corbage. Corbage will return a defense back in the deck. Then you put Gaia on top of the Corbage. So if your deck can make a rank 3 exceed, you can make this. You go from rank 3 exceed to Gaia Dragon, 2,600 piercing damage. Not core to any deck, just maybe consider it for a finishing touch. Let's go back. We have Volcasaurus rising in popularity. Gaia is liking it. I wouldn't say this is core to your Gaia deck. 45% are using it, so the majority are not using it. Just a pretty cool card. Rank 5 exceed, pop a card in the field, pop a monster, that is. Moving on down to Shark Fang. Adrius, Maystroke. I can't really recommend these. The one copy of Hope Woven makes it big value for your Dream Ticket if you're finishing off your Water Exceed deck. If you're not playing Water Exceed, you're not playing Hope Woven. That's it. Maystroke, Adrius, trending downward. You have Gaia, Harpies using these. Gaia like an Adrius, Harpies like an Maystroke. Moving on to Voltage of the Metal. Diamond Direwolf, I would say, is quite important for Magnets. When I say they are core to the deck, maybe I would. It's a very popular card. 0% are not playing. It's 100% being used in Magnets. So if you are loving your Magnet deck, I'm going to add Diamond Direwolf to the recommended cards. Diamond D to the recommended selection, or I should say the Dream Ticket cards. Moving on, you can't use it on a rare. We have Shining Hope, Utopia, not important. This is being used in Abyss Actors to make the Utopia Ray. It's connected to Utopia Ray. It's pretty good for Abyss. If you like Abyss Actors, then you know what? Pick it up. Pick it up. If we move on to here, the Dragon's Mirror is trending downward. It's not doing too well. Gaia is playing it, but now that we have Monster Reborn, I guess people are not liking this as much. The majority are playing it, but 38% are not playing it. It is trending downward. Do consider that. Moving on, we have Raigeki Break being played in Harpies, but not every Harpy deck is playing Raigeki Break. It is majority not used. 63% are not using Raigeki Break, so I'm not going to add these to the recommended. Let's move on to King's Resonance. This is a reprinted card. It's in a structure deck. So if you were to buy the structure deck instead of using towards the King's Resonance version, Blade of Spirits comes with what? You get a Parallel Twister with it, which is seeing use in Noble Knights. Okay, this could be a fun thing to pick up while getting your Powerful Rebirth. Moving on to what I'm going to recommend. Swallow Nest. I can't recommend your dream ticket on Swallow Nest. Swallow Nest is dropping in popularity. 45% are not using it. The majority are, but still, it's not core of the deck. I'm not really going to recommend it. This was a big recommendation before it got semi-limited, but now that it's semi-limited, it's competing with other cards. Moving on. Brianna Good, if you care about your Water Exceed deck, we have Spirit of the Beast, the maybe one Magnetic Field, Super Team, we're already recommending this after looking at Magnets, Master of Chaos Structure deck. So this is already reprinted in the Structure deck for Gaia, all right? You got the notes and the warnings. Cybernetic Rebellion, you already know about Diva. We already talked about the Magnets being core to the deck. These are the three most important. Moving on, the Harpy Hunting Ground. The stats for Harpy Hunting Ground are skewed. They are heavily skewed, but the skill does require you to play it in your deck, so I guess it is going to be needed. This is now needed for Harpies, actually. It's actually now core to the deck because the skill. Before it was not needed. Hunting Ground. If Harpy Hunting Ground becomes the most popular skill, now that we're going to be mandating, allowing the use of Harpy Hunting Ground, we had to ban it before. You have to play from your deck. From your deck. The Harpy Hunting Ground is from your deck. So no longer from outside of the duel. You do need this, unfortunately. And I'm going to have to add it to the deck prices now. I'm going to have to add it to our thing, the Harpy Hunting Ground. It is a core card to Harpies. If the skill becomes popular, you're going to have to just wait. Just wait for tournament results to see if you need this. But even then, people are using this. Majority were using this. I'm going to say you're going to need this. Here are the Water Exceed cards. We already talked about this. So this is just good to show you that we have the full overview. We're not missing anything. That's why it's good to go over this, to show you we have the data, to show you that we're not missing or forgetting about anything as I'm scrolling through all the boxes. We have Burning Nova. These cards are reprinted. That's why it's grayed out. So make sure you look at the note and the warning. Treacherous, already a big recommendation. Strong Trap, best trap in the game right now. This is the Structure deck. We have Galactic Origin. You should not get Cosmic over MST right now. You should not do it. Cosmic has good future potential, but MST is better. Moving on, Servant of Kings. Chalice. If you're getting ready for Master Duel, you're not going to need Chalice and Duel Links, but you'll need Chalice probably for Master Duel, where instead of the traps being in the back row, TCG essentially moved the traps in the back row into now the traps are in your hand or built into the monsters. So Chalice is pretty much an anti-trap if the monster stops you from playing the game. We don't really have that much in Duel Links right now, monsters that are stopping you from playing the game. Cyber/Harpy, maybe you want a Chalice. Just think only you should want Chalice if your opponent is doing something turn one with a turn one monster that's preventing you from playing. Otherwise, if you don't feel that while playing in Duel Links, which you generally don't, then you don't need Chalice. But Chalice can be pretty cool if you have synergy with it. With Gaia, there's cool plays, putting your monster to 3,000 attack. You could use this in Heroes to make your Anki direct attack big. Moving on. Floodgate, Trap Hole. Generic Trap, it's replaceable with any of the other good traps. Should use a Dream Ticket on a Floodgate. I can't recommend it over a card like Treacherous. Treacherous seeing more use. Floodgate's good, but so is Canadia, so is Phoenix Chain, so is all of these traps that you already have options to play. Book of Moon is also a good card. So this is really not needed. And then moving on to Chaotic Compliance. This is not something you're going to use your Dream Ticket on. And then please, I think the game allows you to do this, and shame on Konami. These are free cards. Free. Do not use your Dream Ticket on a free card. Free card means it's free. It's no gems. It's from farming. It's from a reward or something. It's from a ranked duel ticket. Do not do it. So if we look at overall popular free cards, what are they? These are all free. all of these. If you ever spent a dream ticket on one of these, you got scammed so bad. So bad. Real bad. Big scam. All these are free. And with that said, we're now going to do the full overview of what we recommended. These are the main recommended cards, but you know what I did not really talk about? I didn't talk about Abyss Actor, and there's a very good reason for that. Is because Abyss Actor, you can't really use your dream ticket on it. So to recap the tier list, I am recommending Magnet Warriors. I am recommending Harpies, so the core cards of these two decks. I'm not recommending Water Exceed only because it's too expensive. Otherwise, I do recommend it, only if you are close to building it. Gaia is a structure deck. The tier 3 decks I'm not going to recommend because they're tier 3 and they could move up, they could even fall off. Now, if you look at Abyss Actors, the deck's too new. It's too new. These are the most used cards. All of the core cards are too new. December. So this deck is too new to use your dream ticket on. You are restricted. And now let's look at the overall cards I recommended. These are going to be the full cards I recommend spending your dream tickets on. The generic cards to use your dream tickets on if you don't care about a specific deck would be Mystical Space Typhoon, Treacherous Trap Hole. Make sure the deck you want to play, it doesn't have a semi-limit or doesn't mind using this as the semi-limit. And then the other generic cards will be Dweller for any deck. This is, of course, core to your Water Exceed deck, but better than this is going to be your Malevolent Sin. So Malevolent Sin, Dweller, MST, and Treacherous are going to be the 4 generic cards that pretty much any deck can use that will be recommended to use your dream ticket on. MST might be my #1 recommendation for genericness. Then we're going to talk about Magnets and Harpies. I will equally recommend Magnets and Harpies. For Magnets, you're going to need 1 Berserkion. You're going to need 2 to 3 Gamma, 2 Alpha. That's going to be core of the deck. It's the main way to summon your Berserkion. 3,000 attack, destroy a card in the field more than once per turn. What else for Magnets? You're going to want Super Team Bunny Force Unite if you don't already have powerful rebirths, enough of them, and the Oasis, which you may have randomly picked up. What else for Magnets? You are going to want for your Magnet deck, you are going to want at least 1 Diamond Direwolf, 1 to 2 Gorgonic Guardians. Just at least 1 is very good. Gorgonic's very good. Diamond Dire's good. It's part of the core plays you make with the deck. Then we have Harpies. You're going to need 3 Channeler, 2 to 3 Perfumer. You're going to need 1 Harpy Hunting Ground. You used to not need this. Now you do with the new skill change. What the heck, Konami? And you will need at least 1 Harpy Lady Slash, 1 to 2. 2 is optimal. 1 is mandatory. And the Harpy deck likes playing Dweller. It likes playing Malevolent Sin. And then the final card recommendation would be for Abyss Actors. If you already have all the Abyss Actor cards, then consider playing the Utopia engine. The Utopia and the Utopia Ray, the deck self-inflicts damage with Madonna, dropping yourself to 1,000 life or lower. So you could deal that 4,000 damage, single attack. And that's it. Here's the full picture of what you should use your dream ticket on and why.